Welcome back to Grown Women Talk. I'm Kia.
I'm Andrea.
And I'm Cheré.
You all, we have a special guest today. This is Addy.
Yay!
Addy is the one that makes us look great every week. He does
Yes.
our filming, he does our editing, but he also loves politics.
Yes.
And so
Sure.
we are bringing him on as our political specialist from the male, millennial, wonderful
I
group,
love
you all.
it.
Because
Yes,
guess what?
yes, yes.
This is Grown Women Talk, but we know that men watch our show, and everybody needs to know what's going on right now
That's right.
in our nation. Unless you have been living under a rock, you know that there's an impeachment inquiry going on right now for number 45,
Yes.
President Donald Trump. Okay? And so we're going to talk about that in just a minute. But if you are not yet a subscriber, please hit the button, because you see we talk about really important stuff here on Grown Women Talk. And we would love for you to join our family. So please hit the subscribe button and the bell so that you know when we put up new content. Okay. So, Addy, we're so glad that you're here. Ladies,
glad to be here.
you know, I'm telling you, so many people, you know, remember months ago, there were all these hearings dealing with something else with Donald Trump and dealing with Russia and all these different kind of things. But now there's something totally new with a whistleblower.
Whistleblowers.
Who's come out with some information. I have the document right here with the whistleblower statement that I've gone through. If you haven't read this, you should really download it. It's not like, people have been saying it's not even like it was before when it was like all this information. It was hard to understand. This is very clear, cut and dry. There's some wrong things happen. You said something earlier. What do we say?
It's a state of emergency.
Yes. Yes.
It is a state of emergency. Let's talk about what is going on right now in our nation.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess I'll start it. The whistleblower complaint came after a phone call with President Trump and the Ukrainian President, President Zelensky, where it's actually two parts to it. It's the first part, which the media didn't immediately jump to, the favor that he asked for CrowdStrike, for them to investigate CrowdStrike. Which is the, I believe they're a data sourcing company that was looking into the Russia ties at the time.
Right.
So he asked for favors for that.
Right.
Kind of like a quid pro quo.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
you do this kind of favor for
That's
me.
right.
Our country will do this for
Right.
you.
And then after that, he requested the favors for looking into his political
Yes.
competition, which is Biden. I think there's a little bit of context that some people may not actually know, but the Congress, they appropriated military funds the day before to go to the Ukraine,
That's right.
which Congress has the power to do.
That's
They're allowed
right.
to do that. They're
That's
supposed
right.
to do that.
That's right.
That's right.
And Trump went ahead and said, no, hold that. Don't give it to them, which he's not allowed to do.
Right.
Then he goes on the phone call with President Zelensky. They're under apparently the impression that they're going to get the funds.
Right.
Now they're wondering where are their funds.
Right.
You know, they're trying to keep Russia from annexing more parts of their country. They need the military aid. We don't have, or they don't have the capabilities to protect themselves. They're one of our allies. But here comes Trump asking for favors, which he's not allowed to do.
Right.
You're not allowed to, threaten a political party outside of this country to try to get favors from them, to try to advance your position, which is exactly what he did. He may not have actually said it directly,
Right.
but it's almost like
It
a
was
mob
pretty
boss.
clear. It was pretty clear
I
to
mean,
me.
when I listened
Yeah.
to it, it was like listening to old school mob bosses, and
Yes.
they're not gonna say, yes, I want you to go get rid of that person. They're gonna say, well, let's take care of our business here. You know,
Right.
It's literally mob boss mentality what I see from him.
Wow.
You were chomping at the bit.
Well, I can't even wrap my thinking around this gross negligence
Yes.
of not just justice, but of power.
Yes.
And I think what I'm really glad you're here because you're a millennial, because as we have this conversation, we raise consciousness.
Yes.
We do. And if folk turn a blind eye, it will be forever to our peril. Forever to our peril. And there's so much at stake that
So
we
much.
can't. And so one of the things that Addy kept saying, which he's not supposed to do, he said that like 5 times about 3 different
Yes.
things. And how is that okay? And at what point is he ever above the law?
What is very interesting to me is that I saw an interview yesterday, I think it was on CNN, with Auntie Maxine, that's Congresswoman Maxine Waters. And the interviewer said to her, I think he was just kind of making a statement saying, you know, how a lot of the Republican surrogates and people who are out there speaking on behalf of the president have been saying, you know, do you really think that he is, you know, crazy enough to put himself out there like that, to jeopardize the nation, to do this and that? She said, I don't think that. She said, what I think is that he's brazen enough.
Absolutely.
Brazen, the word brazen enough to have that kind of conversation where you actually do say, I need you to do a favor for me about a political rival that you have. You know, he and Giuliani, Rudolph Giuliani, he has been doing the circuit on the news and talking about how it's okay for them to investigate Biden and Biden's son because it was wrong and so forth and so on. But again, what you brought up, you can't have it where you're doing it favor and we're doing this for you if you do this for me. It's just amazing. That's why they didn't want the conversation released. They didn't want the conversation released, but now the conversation is being released. The president is saying, it's no big deal. It's no big deal. In fact, went as far as to say that the whistleblower was like a spy. And what used to happen to spies and talking about treason. And I saw that Geraldo even said he wanted to beat up the whistleblower or something of that nature.
Geraldo, I did not see that.
So that even came out
something crazy.
In a closed-door meeting that was not supposed to have any reporters whatsoever. Somebody just pulled out their phone and recorded what he was saying. That was closed door, wasn't supposed to come out at all. And our president referring to a whistleblower. Now, a whistleblower, per the law, they're supposed to come forward.
Yes.
They're supposed to go to their...
and be protected.
I forgot who it was.
And be protected.
Yes, and it's supposed to come out. He said that behind closed doors to refer to him as a spy. You are literally saying you want to kill a person because... That's in the old days. What he was referencing is we would have gotten rid of this person. You cannot do that as a president. And for him, I don't think he's brazen enough. I think what it is he's not smart enough to realize what he's doing.
No,
he
Addy,
thinks
he's brazen.
I don't think he realizes what he is doing is wrong, and he thinks he's smarter than everybody. So he's saying it's not quid pro quo. He's saying it's not.
I think I got away with what happened with the other inquiry with what happened months ago with Russia.
And that's where his stupidity comes in. That's how unintelligent he is to realize that he got away with that. And this is where Nancy Pelosi comes in too, because she is finally going after him with all the pressure, but she has a way that she can completely mess this up. She can fumble this whole thing. She went into the special committee that's going to be investigating this and told them to just narrow their focus on the Ukraine call. You can't do that. You do not do that. If you remember Bill Clinton, when he was going through impeachment proceedings, they did not start with Monica Lewinsky. That was not what they were going after him for. They were going after the Watergate scandal. With the business ties, with the properties and real estate, found nothing, and then the Monica Lewinsky thing came out. If you are Nancy Pelosi, you do not narrow the scope on Trump. You go after everything, from his business ties, his tax returns. I mean, the state of New York offered to release his state tax returns. The Democratic Party side said no. Why? Why would you do that? Why would you ever do that?
But I think that, okay, so Nancy Pelosi, we have to remember, is a very sharp, savvy, and shrewd political person, because she has knowledge of what's going on in the background. For example, I saw that I believe that they now have enough votes in the House for impeachment, but they do not have it 35. In the Senate. And so they're also trying. I received like maybe 3 or 4 emails just yesterday from different Democratic places saying, do you support the impeachment of Trump? Because they want to get the pulse of the people. What do the people want? Because they showed before when Bill Clinton went through in impeachment, his rating was so high, and the people did, their feelings about impeachment were low. Right now with this president, his ratings are so low, but even the thoughts of the people, I think they want to have more of a groundswell from the people to say we want impeachment. And so she's being very strategic, I think, in how she handles this, because
hope so.
you have to count your votes. The Democratic Party will suffer in elections if it isn't handled the proper way. And that's why the Republicans, I think, are sticking tight to their party line, because so many of them are up for re-election. So we're going to have to really watch and see how this plays out. And everybody should take note on how their representatives vote and play out on this.
Absolutely. Kia, you know, I saw last night on CNN, I can't remember who it was, but one of the things that they were having this discussion about how this is so egregious, it is similar to Nixon. Wow. And that, I mean, that's how egregious this is. So. And they are looking at, you know, the parallel between the two. And so I think you said it best when you talked about we have to pay attention. We cannot be asleep behind the wheel. We just can't.
Right. We can't be.
I do want to say that I disagree with your assessment of Nancy Pelosi. I think she is completely removed from reality when it comes to this. And the reason why I say that is because everything that Trump has done up to this point, an impeachment inquiry should have been started per the Constitution. And she did not do her due diligence. She did not follow through. It is unconstitutional to let this man continue doing what he's been doing. Now his brazen, phone call with the Ukrainian government came out, and now all of a sudden you're saying, okay, this is enough. So it wasn't, the previous business ties. It wasn't the paying off the hush money payments. I mean, his co-conspirator is in prison. So you're telling me, she is on it. I 100% disagree. I do disagree, though, is you need to know who is in your districts, who your representatives are, because those are the people who determine the presidency, who are going to determine who is going to, who's going to vote for the impeachment proceedings. And unfortunately, in the district that I live in, which is a very red district, and I say unfortunately because I'm not a Republican, but this man would never vote to impeach Trump. I already know this. I think people need to be fully aware of who they're putting into the Senate, into Congress, because those are the people who are going to make decisions for us. I just don't think a lot of people understand that. I think people think the presidency makes decisions. It's not just the president.
No, absolutely. And I think I'm so glad that we do have varying views, because that represents our nation.
That's
so
right.
Pay attention to what's going on. Please, by all means, have your own thoughts and your own views, but have them be educated and informed views. Please take the time to read documents, take the time to watch what's going on. There'll be several hearings coming up. The Congress isn't even going on break. They're going to keep going. They're going to be interviewing people like Mike Pompeo while they're trying to. They said subpoenas to people. So we have to see what's going on. Right. But you all, please comment in the comment section. Let us know what you think. Let us know how you feel about this issue.
And also exercise your vote. Make sure you are registered to vote now.
Yes.
Make sure of it.
Register right now.
Check to be sure. Get your children registered, your family, any seniors that are in your family, help them get registered. This is so important.
So important.
Let your voice be heard.
Yes.
I think that this president was elected because many people sat at home.
Yes.
Didn't vote, didn't think your vote matters. Every vote matters. And make your voice heard. If Nancy Pelosi was quiet, it was because we allowed her to be.
That's right.
We elect
That's right.
these people in office, and they do what we say generally. If you let them know that there's a threat that they could not be reelected if they don't move the way we say they should, that puts the pressure on.
Yeah.
So let's let our voices be heard. Let's get connected in our neighborhoods, churches, mosques, your political party. Get in there. Let's let our voices be heard. Let's carry people to the polls. Let's do like we did when we got Barack Obama elected.
Yes.
That was from the ground roots. Let's go back to basics and get some movement, make some change.
I see Addy over here.
Yeah, I just wanted to, what you were saying, if you do not like Nancy Pelosi, if that is not your cup of tea, Shahid Buttar is running against her. And I've personally contributed to his campaign, even though he's all the way out in California.
Well, we thank you for being with us today.
Yes.
And thank you for representing the
The
millennial voice.
Yay.
Yes.
And the
That's
male
right.
voice. We love it.
So you all, thank you so much for viewing today. Share it, comment. You guys, it's so important.
What do you
That's
think?
right.
What do you think? And
That's
so
right.
until next time, get ready.
Reset.
And go.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.